In this video, I'll be talking about CSS Image Card. CSS Image Card. CSS Image Card. Okay. Let's start by creating our HTML basic structure. So inside this tab of HTML, we will now we will use div. I want to use div. Then inside this div, because what the CSS card image card simply means that kind of image that you have a description below it. That's what it simply means. It will be an image, then it will have a description under it. Okay, so let me use header one first. Let me say hash1, or let me first of all add image img. Then I have images in my image folder in our um project folder. So I have an image folder. So inside the image folder, I have these files. I'll be using the laptop. Okay, so let's return, close this sidebar. Then to do that, just click dots backwards, not here, but inside this source, dot backward slash. Then go to my image is inside image folder. Then I'll make use of laptop. Okay, if I refresh now, you can see this is laptop. Okay. Then I will now add, let me use header one. Let me say I am okay, let me use block letter for I am very cheap. Let me use the word I am very cheap. I am very cheap. Instead of doing I'm very cheap, why don't I write price? Okay, if I do price, then I'll now say details. Inside the details, I will now use the London ones to write something like say London wears inside. Okay, let me do that. Let me use header one. Inside this header one, I will now do price. Let me say price. Let me use block letter. Say price. Uh, say price. Okay, inside this price, I will now give it. Let me call it. Let's say $150, $150. Okay, use dollar sign. $150. Okay, $150. Okay. Let me reduce this size so that it will look a bit different. Let me reduce it. Let me say price. Say price. Okay. Let me just do something like this. Then let me also give it I think it's okay. No need of aligning it. Then let me give it horizontal to differentiate it from the details. Okay. Then under I will now say HR, which is horizontal row. Okay, this is the price. Then under it I will now give the description. So I will now say description. I will not put that description inside I will not put the description inside I want to use paragraph. Let me put it inside paragraph. Inside the paragraph I will now give it let me say details. Details. Let me use, should I use block letters? Let me say block letter. Okay, let me say details since the still big. Still big. Let me use lowercase. Let me say details. Okay, details. Okay. Then inside the details, I will now use I will now write the details under it. So let me use it. Let me put break here so it will break the line. So I will now say London. I'll use roaring. Let me use a roaring random words. Let me say description of the device will be, let's say something like how many words now. Let me make use of 40 and see how it looks like. 40 random words. Okay, you can see that is what I want, but these details seem to be very much far from. Let me clean this one and see what happens. Yeah, I think it's very much better now. It's a little bit closer. Okay, so this is what I want to do in this side. Okay, you can see that this is what I want to do in my HTML. Creating this, first of all, I create a div. All of the div, all these things are inside the div. Then I now insert image. Then use what is it called? What do I do here? Yeah, image. Then I use inside header one. I put this one, this price 150. Then inside this and I use p tag inside div to add this what's it called, this London words with the details. Okay, so that's what I want to do. So let's go into our CSS. Before we come to our CSS, let's link our external CSS because this is external CSS. So to do that, come under the title, use link, not this, use link inside the href. Insert your CSS file the way you insert your image. Dot backward slash select my CSS folder CSS file. Okay, it's not connected. So to do a CSS image card, let me do something like this. Let me start by giving this my div a class. Since we want to do a card, let me give it a class name of card. I think it will make sense, of card. Okay, so I'm done. So inside this place now, we now say dot class dot card dot card. Then open a declaration block, not this one, not open a declaration block. Then let me start by giving it let me say box box shadow. Let me start by doing a width first, so I don't know whether it is working or not. Let me give it width. Let me give it width of let's say 200 pixels. Let's see how what the effect are. Okay, this is what it's going to give me. I think the text is too much. Let me continue. If the text is much, I will reduce the number of the I will reduce the number of the random words. Okay, so let me add another. Let me say box sizing. Let me say box sizing. Let me give it a border box. Okay, a border box. Then let me give it a box shadow. Under it, let me say box shadow. This box shadow. Let me give it the argument of, let me say should I just use any random store. Let me just say 0 pixel, then give space and say, let me say something like 20 pixel, 20 pixel px. Then let me also give something like say 28 pixel. This is just random, just make use of it randomly. Okay, you can see what the text looks like. Okay, I think the text is too how do I put it now? It's too long. The card is too much. Let me reduce the size of the text so it can be a little bit compacted. So let me cut from here. Let me cut from here down and see what happens. I think this one is a bit manageable. Seems to be much, but let's keep on going. Because if I do this tonight, the text will just be very long. Or what if I increase the width? What will happen? If it's too much, I will now remove this header one and let me replace it with paragraph. So let me see whether it will reduce the size, because this thing is too much. To me, it's too much. The size is too much. We just put P. Now put P. You can see. I think this one is much better. It's much better this way. I think it's now reduced. Okay, it's now reduced. So you can see the effect of the shadow in the run the test. Okay, so we are not done yet. Okay, so we added width, box sizing, and box shadow. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do to add this image inside this card. Okay, what I want to do, I will just come down. Then I'll use the class again. I'll say dot card. Then I put greater than equal to sign here, and just make space in between them. Then now refer it to paragraph, which is this my p tag that contains this text. Let me start with this text first, or let me do image. Let me say image first, img. Okay, uh the class not the class, the element image, which contain this our image img. Then open a block declaration block. Then inside it I will now add some few property to it and add some value. So let me start by adding let me say max width, let me set it to 100%. 100% shift 5, 100%. Okay, you can see it's now fixed inside. You can see how the image is looking now. It's now fixed inside of the um inside of this box. Okay, now let me also add, let me say display. Just add under it, say display. Inside the display I will now add display block. Okay, then the next thing I'll be adding height and the margin. Okay, so I will now say height. I'll set the height to auto. Okay, then I will now set margin to 0 because I just want it to be by the side. Margin, just set it equal to 0. It's nothing. Okay, let me just say 0 pixel. Let me select it from here. Let me say 0 pixel. Let me type it. It's not 0 pixel. Okay, the next thing I want to do now, I want to also do the same effect on the p element which contains our text. Okay, so to do that, I will also do the same thing that I did here. So I will just say dot card, then greater than equal sign. Then I will now say p. Inside this p, I will now open our declaration block. Then inside I will now declare the properties and the values. Let me say padding first. Say padding. Um, yeah, padding. I'll use let me say about let me say up to 5 or let's 3 parameter of padding for the both sides, all the sides. Okay, and this is for because of the text. So the text will kind of move, the text will just shift a bit, and then it will just shift to have a space between the four sides of it. Okay, so let me just do this. Let me do it this way because this box is small. What if I do 0? Let me say 0 pixel, 0 pixel, and then let me say something like 11 pixel here. What is the effect? Okay, it's expanding. Is it really what I want? Let me also add 11 pixel again and see what will happen. I don't think this thing seems to be much. 11 pixel. Let me see what happens. Okay. So, it's make a little bit sense. How about making this one 10? Let me see what happens. Don't seem okay. The difference are they say the padding here. This one a little bit. This one is 0. Okay. Since I'll be using test align to align the test in the center. No need of adding. If I add test align and it did not give me what I want, then I will add the padding. I'll add value to this padding and see what it looks like. Or should I? Let me just say 5 pixel. I do not see any reasonable changes there. So let me just add test align. Let me say test align. Let me give it center so the text can move to center. Okay, but it's affecting these details. Still good anyway, because the details will be in the center and the text will also be aligned in the center. So in other words, I'll change these details to a block letter, to a uppercase, since it's now in the center. We say details, details. I think it makes sense this way. It makes sense this way. Okay, let me add these details. Let me give it its inline styling. Inline styling, so it will look more bolder than. So it will look more bolder. Let me give it. Should I give it a border? Let me try giving it a border. I don't think it will look nice, but let me just try and see what it looks like. Let me say solid, solid border. Let me use the 1 pixel, 1px, solid. How will it look like? It looks nice, but let me use insert. Say insert, insert. Okay, yeah, I think it makes a little bit sense to me. Insert, it makes a little bit sense to me for this p tag. Okay. Okay, so let's proceed. So you can see the card, how it looks like. You can see how it looks like. It almost looks like this online display pricing stuff. Okay, that is what it looks like. You see the price, you see the product, and then you see the details of the products. Okay, let me do I want to add animation to it. As in, not animation yet, I want to add hovering. When I hover the mouse over it, I want this thing to react to something. Okay, to do that, we also use the same thing. We also do the same thing down here. We'll do, it's under here, we'll use our class .card, uh, .card colon, then type in hover, use hover, then open your declaration block. Then inside it, I'll just declare two properties. Let me use width. I want when this pointer comes to this our image card, when the pointer comes to it, it will double the size of this width, which is, we have how many width here? We have let's go back to our, let's see how many width we have here. We have width of 200 pixels. So we want to double the pixel. Let's say 400 pixel. Let me say width. Say width 400 pixels. Let me say 400 pixels. Okay, that's what I want it to do. Okay, so when I hover the mouse over it, yeah, it will automatically be 400 pixels. Okay, now the next thing I'll be doing now, okay, I think this 400 is too much. It's good, but it's too much. Let me reduce it to 350. Let me just reduce it to 350 and see what happens. It's almost the same thing. How about 300? Let me just make it 300. Yeah, it makes sense. Things at least it makes sense. Okay, so now next thing we'll be adding now. Let me just add a box shadow. Let me just add more shadow to it. So when you hover it, it will give you a different shadow with a different color. This shadow you are seeing by the side now, this shadow you are seeing by the side, which is like black color. I want, when I hover over it, it will increase the size also, and also change the shadow color to, let's say, something like green or red or any color. But let me make use of green. Okay, let me make use of green. If it does not match, I'll use another one. Let me say box shadow. Uh, that's box shadow. That's box shadow. I'll be making use of let me say, let me give it, how many parameters should I give it much parameter? I don't think it's necessary. Let me just give it, should I use only 3 or 2 self? Let me just say 16 pixels, 15 pixel, give space, then I should then give let me say 34 pixels. Okay, then this first one should, let me just make here 0 pixel, so it will not have effect on this side. Okay, so I will now, after doing this, I will now give it a color. I will now give it a color. Let me use let me say blue and see what it looks like. Blue and see what happens. You can see the shadow by the side is now blue, but let me use aqua 00 let me use hexadecimal 00FFF for aqua. Yeah, it's aqua color. Let me see what's, yeah, it's this one looks more visible. This aqua, instead of using this, if this hexadecimal will confuse you, just leave it. Just, you know, the color name, just type it. Just type in aqua. Still the same thing. But that value that I input 00FFF is just the hexadecimal representation of this aqua color. So if you hover over it, you can see change to this thing. So, but I do not like how it's just popping up automatically. I just want to add more transition duration to it. So to do that, let me go to the card property. Let me add a transition. Let me say transition duration. Where is it? Let me look at it. Here is it. Okay. Transition duration. Let me add it in. Let me give it. Let me start from 1 second and see the effect. You can see that. You can see what it's doing. It's no longer. Let's see the difference. Let me comment it. You can see the difference. It's just once you bring the pointer to the card, it just automatically displays the property of the hovering. But you can see that fast. I want it to do a sort of animation. So if I uncomment this one now, if I uncomment it now, you see the difference. You can see how it's growing very slowly, sort of animation. But let me just increase the seconds to, let me say something like 3 seconds. It will be very slow, but let me just do it. You can see what it's doing. You can see what our card is doing. You can see that. And as it is moving, the text inside is also rearranging themselves to match up with the size. Okay, you can see that. How about doing it? Let's say 5 seconds. 5 seconds is very, 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 very slow. It will be down slow. Very slow. It's too slow. You are slow. If I remove it now to go back to normal. So this is how to do a CSS uh, uh, card image card, or either we can use it either way, card image or image card. So this is how to do it. You can add multiple. You can duplicate this and add multiple cards, kind of one here, one here, one here, one here. So you can actually do that. So thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one.